Welcome to the Colt AR-15 resource. In the video today, I'm going to talk about the Match Target series of rifles, also known as the MT series. The MT series was a series of rifles that kind of came out of the 1994 ban era. There were essentially two different variants of the series. One variant was rifles with a bare muzzle, and then the second variant was rifles with compensators on the end of them. And rifles that were compensated had a C at the end of their model designations. So this advertising one sheet here is from 1999, and it is promoting the MT 6700 series of match target rifles. What is great about this illustration is it gives you a good view of a fairly good view of the compensator used on the series. I've been collecting Colt AR since about 2017. And I think I've only seen about 4 or 5 of the compensated rifles show up on the secondary market. I may or may not buy one if I ever see one appear. I'm not sure. So here on the back, we got 2 columns, and it's advertising the caliber of rifle to be .223 Remington. And then it's advertising both rifles with 1 and 7 rifling and 1 and 9 rifling. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So what we're going to look at now is a couple of product one sheets from the year 2000. And one of the advertising one sheets is dated January of 2000, and then the other one is July of 2000. So they're roughly just six months apart. And you'll notice in January of 2000, they had a more significant product line than in July. They dropped a couple of models. So and we'll talk some more about that pretty soon. We're going to look at the January of 2000 sheet first. And so on this sheet, you have the MT 6601 available in both 223 and 7.62 by 39. You have the 6700 series, which is promoted as having a flat top upper receiver. And then you have the 6601C or compensated model. And then you have the 6700C, which is the compensated model of the 6700 up here. Down here you have the MT 6530, also available in 223 or 7.62 by 39. This is the carbine variant of these guns up here. You have the 6731. That is the carbine variant with 1 and 9 rifling. I forgot to mention back over here on the 6530 that it has 1 and 7 rifling. And then the MT 6551 down here is also 223 or 7.62 by 39. It is a 20-inch barrel. It's not readily obvious how it differs from the 6601 up here. I'll have to research that and see if I can identify that. But what is also really interesting about the Match Target series during this time is that they were available with both the fixed carry handle and the flat top upper receivers. One of the common discussions that comes up in internet forums about Colt rifles these days is how the rifles with fixed front sight posts don't have the F mark on them anymore. The F mark came in handy back during this time when Colt was selling firearms with both flat top and fixed carry handle upper receivers. But once Colt stopped making the fixed carry handle upper receivers, there was no need for a F mark front sight base anymore. So, bringing over this one sheet from July, you'll see Colt apparently decided to slim down their product offerings. They dropped the 6530, which is like I mentioned, the Carbine variant. And then they dropped this 6551 variant down here as well. And just stuck with the 5 shown there. Also notice the pricing here. The price dropped in those 6 months from $11.94 to $11.11. So people sometimes complain that Colt firearms are priced too high these days. As you can see, even from back in 2000, 24 years, there's really been no significant price increase. Matter of fact, some variants are cheaper today than they were 10, 15 years ago. So what I'm going to show you now is from the catalog in 2003. I don't think I've really shown this before, but part of my research library is Colt catalogs. I've got them in 3-ring binders, tabbed out by year. Let me pop this out because the light glare kind of get in our way. So this is the match target listing in 2003 catalog. So the product line at least went out to 2003. It looks like at this time they limited the product offering to just 223. And you'll notice over here they have 556 in parentheses. As we know today, that 223 and 556 is not exactly the same. And there again, it was just the base model 6601 and the 6601 compensated. I mentioned earlier that the series had both rifles with bare muzzles and the compensators. Here's a bare muzzle example. And this is a 6700 and 6700C 1-9 rifling variant. So those of you that are not familiar with the bare muzzles on the rifles, one thing that I did find interesting in this catalog listing is we see the the continued production of the MT6731. They're now calling it the H-Bar 2. It's got 1-9 rifling, a fixed stock. These fixed stock carbines were pretty popular for a while, and I would almost think if it came back today, some people would still like to see that. And this now has a removable carry handle. And then here's what they're calling the MT6400 series, Match Target M4. So that's 1-7. The intent with that was for it to look like an M4, but not. It's got a compensator on it. If I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of these had pinned stocks on them too. I've never seen one of these MT 6400Cs for sale, but at the same time, I haven't aggressively looked either. So there's a quick look at the Match Target series from 1999 to 2003. I was just going through some of my documents and came across that, and you'll see as I progress with this channel, I just do random content, you know, whatever catches my eye at the time. So if you have one of these Match Target rifles in your collection, please comment below. Let me know how you like it. If you have any questions, also feel free to ask those. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I'm here to share what I know and what resources I have, and to just share the hobby of collecting and researching Colt ARs. So thanks again for stopping by, and I appreciate you sharing your time with me.